Z nami Bóg. Remember, no Russians.
Oh, shit! Call of Duty is one of the most divisive franchises in media, not only amongst gamers, but within the very community itself. What floats your COD boat may completely sink mine. Like, for some, this picture is perfection, and for others, it's blasphemy, a sin worthy of a dislike, a 600-word essay, and a trip to hell, courtesy of an intervention. Because in their church of Call of Duty, where they pray to the futuristic gods, this stained glass mosaic should look like this, or this, and my personal favorite, this. Wieners are funny, and that's what makes Call of Duty great. Each game speaks to each player differently. Like, that game sounds like Mozart to me, and this game sounds like my toilet flushing, but that's just me. And of all the divisive titles, World War II, Cold War, Civil War, perhaps none was more heatedly debated than Modern Warfare 3. Some loved it, some hated it, citing it as the end of an era, the golden age of COD. It's only a double jump downhill from here, going from World War II war crimes to modern loot crimes. Like, that's definitely illegal, and Modern Warfare 3 marked another major departure from the more grounded Call of Duty 4 and World at War, as it featured super soldiers roided out on specialist perks fighting hordes of infected zombies, painkiller addicts, and C4-wielding Last Stand users. Praise Jesus? Fucking Activision. And the campaign was no different, moving away from the realism established in Part 1 of the trilogy. Similar to The Lord of the Rings, the series became more about big battles, over-the-top effects, and massive, girthy explosions. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just different. Feeling more like an absurd action movie, it's a spectacle, burning so bright that I just can't look away, despite it turning my eyes into Dorito dust. My eyes! So majestic, but let's get into the story. After the events of Modern Warfare 2, Captain Price and Task Force 141 have officially been disavowed by all Western nations, as they are seen as terrorists for killing American war hero General Shepard. Shepard's history has become truth, and like Imram Zakayev from Modern Warfare 1, Shepard is now beloved by all as a martyr of the American dream, the military-industrial complex, starting World War III and injecting the American economy with a much-needed boost, becoming an icon of American culture and single-handedly bringing the mustache and cigar back into fashion. Forget that jewel, son. Try out this thick cancer stick and mustache. Now you look real evil. And speaking of evil, Russia has launched a full-scale invasion of the United States in response to the airport massacre of Modern Warfare 2. That is all your fault. Yes, yours, and it's a real tragedy. Like, I still haven't cleaned up this mess, and so somebody has gotta pay, because I'm not getting paid enough to deal with this literal blood and shit. Fucking Activision. And the man responsible for this tragedy is one Vladmir Makarov, our generic Russian bad guy for this story. Look at those cheekbones, they were made for evil. And with Shepard dead, Makarov is the last link in the evil chain, the final loose end to tie up. Imram Zakayev, dead. General Shepard, buried. Gul'dan the Defiler, ravaged. And so the final chapter of the Modern Warfare trilogy opens in New York City. Big stars, big buildings, bright lights. Wait, no, that's a missile, because the Russians have landed on the shores and established a foothold on the American continent. It's their Normandy invasion, battling New Yorkers instead of Germans, on skyscrapers instead of sand, and in bodegas over bunkers. And thank God, because those barren, unwelcoming German bunkers had the worst snack selection. Organic chickpea puffs, Hans? Are you serious? How am I supposed to kill on this? And on this bodega-fueled mission, we are playing as Derek Frost Westbrook, named for his cold demeanor and hypothermic tendencies, and he is part of the American Delta Force tasked with taking down a Russian communications jammer that is clogging our in-game comms with their shitty Russian trap music. So annoying, dude, and Delta Force is the perfect crew for the job. They are lean, and they are mean, with badass names like Sandman, Overlord, Todd, and Grinch, but instead of stealing presents, this Grinch steals human souls. Gimme that shit. So Frost and Delta Force successfully destroy the jammer tower and half of New York City in the process, allowing for that glorious communication to return. And with that, American forces are able to regroup, re-strategize, and retake New York City through pure force of will, military might, and aimbotting, the true Call of Duty way. That's like $50 billion worth of infrastructure destroyed in a matter of minutes, but who needs free healthcare anyway? Plus, everyone knows artificial intelligence is the future, and aimbotting is no different. Why use my disgusting Dorito-covered hands when I can outsource my bad aim to AI slave labor whose accuracy is unmatched? He missed! He didn't miss. So with New York City back under American control and communication restored, Delta Squad and Frost submerged themselves in the disgusting water of New York City to infiltrate a Russian submarine holding enough cruise missiles to sink the entire eastern seaboard, giving Florida a much-needed bath. The end goal being to turn the Russian missiles against their own fleet. A classic stop-hitting-yourself strategy, but with missiles instead of fists. These are high-level military tactics over here, and to execute them, Delta Force must go scuba diving through some dangerous water infested with mines, rusty pipes, and financial advisors. Spooky. Have you by chance heard of NFT? Shut up. So Frost and Sandman successfully infiltrate and conquer the submarine using James Bond levels of tact and stealth. They launch the rockets and destroy the Russian fleet before narrowly escaping in an epic boat chase that made me seasick just watching. This Uber driver is definitely getting a 1-star because dude took me through the rough part of town and he's definitely drunk. You boys like Mexico? And with that, New York City is completely and utterly recaptured. America, fuck yeah, only took $18 trillion, thousands of lives, and the destruction of Yankee Stadium. So a huge victory for humanity. And as World War III wages on in the West, Soap and Captain Price lick their wounds after their rust battle with General Shepard at the end of MW2. Soap is mortally wounded and his life is flashing before his very eyes. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And lucky for them, two anti-Makarov Russians, Nikolai and Yuri, are there to escort them to safety, thus forming Task Force 141 Disavowed, featuring 5 core members: Price, Soap, Nikolai the pilot, Yuri the ex-Spetsnaz, and Carl the comedic relief. I avoid emotions through humor. The task force's main mission is to locate and kill Makarov, who has been very busy in the meantime because after getting their booty clapped by America, the Russian president unsurprisingly wants to sue for peace. Spanking stops being fun when you're getting spanked, but Makarov has a different plan. More war, because he desires revenge on the West for their love of freedom and bear arms, and so he orchestrates the kidnapping of the Russian president and his daughter Elena using guns and zero gravity. And man, this Makarov guy is pretty darn brilliant despite being evil, orchestrating an entire world war, heisting the literal president of Russia, and solving long TSA lines. Imagine the good he could do if he put his mind to something productive, something more positive, like get this man on the climate change problem. Hear me out. People are the parasites of the world, so we kill everyone. Yeah. And the reason Makarov hijacks the president is to obtain the launch codes to Russia's nuclear arsenal, because he could never get one in Modern Warfare 2. Fucking noob. However, the president's daughter narrowly escapes Makarov's grasp, and she is the last piece of the puzzle, because without her as a bargaining chip, the president won't give up the nuclear codes. This one girl is the key to Makarov's magnum opus of death, his masterpiece of destruction. It'd be beautiful if anyone was left to witness it. Like, if a nuke goes off and nobody is there to see it, did it really go off?
It looks like a wiener.
And so now the race has begun. We must capture Makarov before he captures Elena. The stakes have officially been raised and many heads are upon them. Nuclear war is upon us, and only Captain Price can save the day by ruining someone else's day. So Price, Yuri, and Soap head down to the tropical paradise of Sierra Leone to scrub the area clean for Makarov intel. We got trees, we got dingoes, we got chemicals of mass destruction. What more could you want?
Weapons of mass destruction?
Stop it. The goal is to infiltrate Makarov's state-of-the-art chemical manufacturing plant and prevent any harm coming from the operation. And to do that, we need to use stealth, murder, and foreplay. My gun is so far up Price's bum that not even I can see it, so there's no shot the enemy will. The ultimate stealth move, and through the power of my aimbot, Price and Soap infiltrate the factory, but its cargo is empty.
Please, mister, get me out of here.
The shipment has been sent and we are too late. I don't know what Makarov has planned for these chemicals, but it can't be good. Everyone knows chemicals and people do not go well together, but Price's loud British mouth gets the crew compromised, and so they must sadly commit chicken war crimes to escape. But it's okay, because Price gave the order, and so I am free of any personal moral responsibility. But although the cargo narrowly escapes Task Force 141's salmonella-infested hands, British intelligence intercept intel about Makarov's chemicals. They do this by using the eavesdrop perk and listening in to Makarov's men's conversations, their plans for the cargo, their plans with their families, even their plans for lunch. That's definitely a breach of trust, but we got lives to save.
Hey man, I don't want to do terrorism on an empty stomach. What do you want to get for lunch?
You want to do Arby's? Don't do it, you'll shit your pants.
Dude, my asshole just talked to me.
So the Queen of England sends her very best to deal with this chemical issue, the SAS, strapped to the teeth with the Royal Empire's best technology, rifles, bayonets, and cannons. So you know they mean business, but for an operation this important, they ditch the red coats for all black jumpsuits, that S&M shit. Kinky, because we are going to be dominating some Russians tonight. The SAS locate the cargo, and I'm excited to see what's inside. It's like Christmas in Sierra Leone, that Home Alone 4 shit, but sadly the truck turns out to be empty. Christmas is officially ruined, cancelled. Go home, St. Nick. But oh wait, what's this? Another truck? Could it be Christmas is saved, and just in time for this family's holiday? It's a Christmas miracle.
Best Christmas ever.
Makarov's chemical weapons from Sierra Leone are launched across Europe. London hit, Paris smacked, Rome... Actually, Rome seems totally fine. And with that, any hope for peace is eradicated, which means it's time for Russia versus America round 69, as Russian tanks begin their blitzkrieg to Berlin, and just like World War II, America is here to save the day, like we always do, by destroying everything. Like, fuck that random guy's car, he didn't need it anyway, cause work is definitely canceled.
Well, Time to become a terrorist.
And as the world superpowers have a dick measuring contest, Captain Price receives a tip from British intelligence about an African warlord connected to Makarov. So now, Task Force 141 must go back on vacation, but instead of Sierra Leone, they're headed to Somalia because they have pirates, and pirates are cool. And this time, we ain't using stealth. We are kicking in the front door, literally. We are after a warlord named Warabe, and this would be a pretty simple mission if not for that ominous sandstorm looming on the horizon. God must seriously be mad about that chicken murder, but I'm sure it's nothing. Sand is just rocks with extra steps, and rocks are bitches.
I own you.
So Price locates Warabe, and through the use of love, compassion, and the art of persuasion, he convinces Warabe to give up the juicy deets.
He oversaw the delivery in Paris!
Right then, this is for the boys at Hereford.
Are we the bad guys?
Through the power of magic, Warabe is seduced and informs us that he actually didn't work with Makarov directly, but rather through a man named Volk, located and responsible for the gas attack in Paris. And with that, this vacation is wrapped up, but oh shit, the foreshadowing is real as a shadow appears on the horizon. A sandstorm is bearing down on Task Force 141, and their chopper is obliterated by Mother Nature, the ultimate weapon. And so this exit just got a little harder than normal, surrounded by sand, surrounded by bullets, and surrounded by pirates. It's a bullet storm that really stings, but lucky for me, I'm playing on easy mode, and so these NPCs have about as much awareness as a double eye patched pirate.
You know what I hate? Chickens. Dude. Not cool.
So Task Force 141 escape, and with these new deets on Makarov's side bitch Volk, Price drops into America's DMs to give them the juicy intel, and then America relays the rumor to Delta Force. It's like high school all over again, but if the stakes were far lower. And with that, American Delta Force and Frost head to France, and we are exposed to the horrors of Makarov's war crimes firsthand, as French bodies litter the streets of Paris, croissants still in hand. Tragic. To locate Volk, American and French soldiers combine like back in the Revolutionary War, these simpler times when bad guys wore little red to signal, hey,
Shoot me!
so Delta Force weave through Paris's catacombs of the long since deceased to avoid the newly deceased, where they track down and locate Volk. But this rat is slippery, and we need him alive, so no headshots, boys. Gotta take that aimbot off. We need a bullet to the back or an arrow to the knee, because he is the only one with actionable intel on Makarov, and so an epic car chase ensues. 5-star Uber versus 5-star Uber. It's epic. Running people over, hell yeah. This leads to Volk's capture and subsequent assault, but he deserves it. Look at what he did to the croissants. Like, that is definitely a war crime, and death is far too kind a punishment.
I'm starving, please.
So Volk, being the coward that he is, squeals and spills the beans that Makarov is meeting his top men in Prague. And lucky for Price, Yuri, and Soap, God for the first time is on their side, shining his bright light upon them by limiting the natural light as the rain falls, giving them the perfect cover in our obligatory Call of Duty sniper mission. It's just not a COD campaign without stealth, snipers, and canine cruelty. So uncool, dude. But stealth is for bitches and smart people, and I don't do either. So Yuri and Soap successfully murder their way to Makarov's meeting site to take him out via hard scope like a real noob dirtbag. Should be easy enough. I've done this many times before. One shot, one kill. Just breathe in and breathe out. But oh wait, some dickhead is using the eavesdrop perk and is interrupting our comms.
Captain Price. Ад ждет тебя.
Is that French?
Get out now!
worst vacation ever.
In a tragic twist of fate, it seems Makarov knew of our assassination attempt the whole time, and Soap is severely injured, but this bar of Soap is one tough son of a bitch, and the night's darkest before the dawn. I know Soap is gonna make it. I can feel it in my bones. I can smell it on my unclean skin, and he's dead.
Oh no, 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 no! Soap! No!
I got a new bar of soap. It's not a big deal.
Well, that sucks, but look on the bright side. We're close to capturing Makarov, and at the very least, Price and Yuri made it out alive and are still friends. Never mind, because with his last dying breath, Soap informs Price that Yuri, quote-unquote, knows Makarov, but dude, we went on one date, and that's how you're gonna spend your last breath? You could have literally said anything else. I love you, I'll see you in hell, or even just tell Price how bad his breath is, because I don't want to. And so Price assumes incorrectly that Yuri is responsible and then proceeds to feed us a knuckle sandwich. The worst kind of sandwich. And with Price's gun pointed at his face, Yuri explains that he did once believe in Makarov's dream, but once he witnessed the horrible lengths he went to, Yuri broke off the relationship, because the path to hell is always paved with good intentions. You nuke a few million people, but hey, more croissants for us. And Yuri even tried to stop the no Russian massacre of Modern Warfare 2, but due to a bullet wound and too much vodka, he failed. And the memory still haunts him to this day, a nagging nightmare waiting for him every night under the covers. Some call them night terrors, some call them sleep paralysis demons, I call them my wife.
Hey, baby.
So after these flashbacks, Price decides to trust Yuri for now, because he's got nobody left, and Yuri tells a hell of a story. And now with Soap dead, it's time for revenge. But first, we need to head to Berlin, who is cosplaying as Berlin in 1945. And it's a race to Elena, the president's daughter. Us versus Makarov's men, the ultimate speed run for a fair maiden's heart. And it's standard business. Kill a few men, destroy a few tanks, topple some infrastructure, yada yada yada, you get it. And as we approach Elena, we can hear her helpless screams through the door. We're so close. I can smell it. Wait, no, that's gunpowder. Elena is captured by Makarov's men, and so now it's up to old reliable Price and Yuri, who have teamed up with Delta Force and Frost to create the Dream Team. We just need Captain America, Iron Man, and a few helicopters. Okay, that's too many helicopters, and at this point, the Russians are just completely outgunned. We're using helicopters, and they're using Suburbans. It's just not a fair fight, because that is what reckless budgetary spending gets you. Yeehaw! The boys rescue the daughter and the president using their slow motion superpowers, because everyone knows everything is cooler in slow-mo. But just as we are making our escape, our American Delta Force comrades are forced to stay behind to secure our evacuation, taking the attention of the Russian RPGs like a zombie's monkey bomb, which is frankly more useful than they've ever been. But let us never forget these noble souls' names: Sandman, Grinch, Truck, and who could forget, Tim? Terry?
It's Todd. We've met like 40 times, dude.
And now with Europe retaken, the President secured and Task Force 141 back in the good graces of the Western world, all that is left is to clean out the trash, and not that kind. There we go, and we're officially done with that stealth shit. We are going in hot, literally, because this Juggernaut suit is not breathable.
Holy shit, dude, I'm gonna pass out.
So Price and Yuri battle their way to Makarov at the top of this fancy hotel, or should I say formerly fancy hotel, as I had to pay my fallen American friends homage. Makarov tries to escape via helicopter, but Captain Price goes full Michael Jordan and brings the chopper down. Someone get this man in the NFL. The Packers need a wide receiver, and in the wreckage, Yuri saves Price but dies in the process. And that is the final straw. Killing Soap, destroying the croissants, and now Yuri Makarov must pay for his sins, and the only proper punishment is death, and his date of execution is right now. Rats do not get a final meal. Fuck your Russian potato. We're going old-fashioned with all reliable, and it ain't the guillotine, it's hanging by cord and bowel evacuation. Pathetic, like I'd never poop my pants upon death, and with Makarov dead, all Price has left to do is light up a cigar and enjoy the scenery as our trilogy comes to a close, because he put on one hell of a show. Our hero, our Dark Knight, willing to do what must be done regardless of how ugly. And oh boy, did things get ugly, because that dancing is definitely a modern war crime.
Well, time to become a terrorist.
Wow, what a story. It's like a modern day War and Peace. If you enjoyed, comment and like so the video gets shown to more people. And as always, shout out to the patrons. You guys are the ones that keep me going. Love y'all. Peace.